Pace with control of this race. Here comes a run from Davey Hazard. He blocks the 10. Not going to be enough. Ryan Pace is going to win at Talladega.
Trying to hold off Wilson. He's done a good job so far. Wilson, one last desperate attempt to the bottom. He won't get there. Nick Curry wins at Bristol.
Coming out turn number 2, coming down the back straightaway here. Looks like he's in a class of his own right now.
Merzlak, one final time, get around the 55, big time send.
He hits the wall, he hits it, he gets the lead, but can he hang on to it? Oh my goodness, he made it to the line!
Big push down the backstretch is going to give him a good run through the corners.
A little bit
Follow from the 1.
A little bit of contact there for second, but coming to the line, Toby Roberson's going to take home the checkered flag and victory here from the new Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Before I wrap things up here in this segment, your thoughts on the type of race we're going to see tonight? And I would have to agree.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to tonight's feature presentation of the United States Online Racing League Cup Series live from the Daytona International Speedway. We're so glad you joined us here on this wonderful Saturday night. Hello, as always, my name is Joe Twansky, joined up here in the booth first by the one and only Mr. Joseph Weaver.
Hello, everybody at home.
And another hometown hero, the one and only Mr. Davey Hazard.
What's going on, guys? It's been a while. It's good to be back.
All right, guys. Pleasantries out of the way. Who you got winning tonight?
Oh, we're getting right into it, huh?
Get right into it.
Wow, okay.
Throw you into the fire.
Listen, I know the PTR and PTR affiliated groups are going to be lined up together all night. They're ready to get rolling here. It's a safe pick to go with any of those guys, but I'm going to go with someone who is in that group, but maybe a bit of a dark horse. He's in a fast race car tonight. He's in my race car tonight, Joey Stefano in the number 75 Celsius car.
Oh, that's a good pick, Davey. I like that pick. But I think I'm going to go with the guy who's starting right behind him on the grid. That's going to be the 8-car, Michael Murata. He's been close here lately. Had a real good run at Atlanta over in Fast just a couple weeks ago. I think he gets it done tonight.
Well, Weaver, you took my first pick, so I'll move to my second. I'm going to go ahead and take old driver number 92. You know, the spotter, the crew chief's going to be telling him stuff on the radio. He's not going to be listening. Ricky Collette out there in that 92 tonight. Looking forward to see what Ricky can do behind the wheel. Though he had a fast car at Talladega about a month or so ago. See a couple folks in chat. Derek's in chat. He's racing over with ISRL right now, so hopefully he's able to join us before the night's over. But welcome in, Derek. Antonio Irvin as well in chat. Welcome, welcome. And folks, as you make your way in tonight, make sure you say hello. Always like getting to talk with everyone in chat. But qualifying's done, Weaver. Why don't you show Davey how you do this? Take us through tonight's starting lineup.
With pleasure, Joe. Starting on pole position, that's going to be the 21 of Jeff Dixon. He set a time of 47.706. Outside row 1 is going to be the 95 of Zach Webster. Row 2 is the 1 of Steven Merzlak and the 31 of Noah Joyce. Row 3 is the 92 of Ricky Collette and the 12 of Cam Barnes. Row 4 is the 29 of Chris Pickett and the 07 of Jamie Zalecki. Row 5 is the 11 of Darren Ingram and the 9 of Jesse Dalton. Row 6 is the 62 of Sean English and the 13 of Austin Spencer. Row 7 is the 4 of Zach Krastowski and the 65 of Patrick Thompson. Row 8 is the 57 of Tommy Bordeaux and the 75 of Joey Stefano. Row 9 is the 8 of Michael Murata and the 77 of Jack Healy. Row 10 is the 23 of Antonio Ruiz and the 16 of Garrett Sidnor. And all alone on row 11 is the 46 of DJ Harris.
21 cars here tonight. A large field as of late for the USORL Cup Series, so good things to see. Have your noble drivers marked by their red roof numbers and red spoilers here tonight. No special graphics for us, so we'll try to keep you up to date on that battle. You see two of them out there right now. Zach Webster, the number 95, and the 1 of Steven Merzlak. Don't be confused by that 23. I believe Antonio not part of that noble here this evening.
Antonio just trying to throw us a curveball.
Different shade of red.
I believe, actually, hold on, let me double check. I thought he was, actually.
They sent him the wrong color code?
They must have, because I'm pretty sure he was on the list. Let me double check right here. This is why we have these lists.
Yep.
Have a good list.
The Noble 4 entry list does include Antonio Ruiz.
Okay. All right.
Actually,
well,
if you want me to run down the list, I can as well.
Davey, take us through that list.
It's the number 1 of Steven Merzlak, the number 3 of Darren Ingram II, number 4 of Zach Krastowski, number 23 Antonio Ruiz, number 31 Noah Joyce, number 57 Tommy Bordeaux, and the number 95 of Zach Webster, all gunning for that $25 purse at the end of the night.
And just to correct you, it's the number 11 of Darren Ingram.
Oh. It has...
It's
okay.
a habit. You're in the habit.
No,
in the habit.
here's the deal, right? It has number 3 on the entry form, so...
Oh, okay.
Somebody else. It's somebody else's issue.
Listen, that's the league thing. We're a third party. You know, we can't take credit for that.
We got lists. They might not be good lists, but we got lists.
Mm-hmm.
I love the energy up here in the booth already. This is going to be a fun night. Folks, again, make sure if you're tuning in for the first time, click like, click subscribe. Again, those are the best ways to help support us here on JTN. You can follow us on all of our social media at JoeTowNetwork, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. You can also subscribe to us over on JTN too. If you like what you hear from Davey tonight, you're going to love the Fake Racers podcast, so go check that out over there or on your favorite podcast platform. You can also check us out. And if you have the means to support us through our JTN merch store, we got different items of clothing and such available on there for purchase. So the most awkward way I could go about saying all that, and of course that's the staple here at JTN. Bristol working the cameras tonight. Doing a good job. Got us all set up.
Doing a fine job. Go ahead.
Davey, we were here a couple weeks ago, a month or so ago now at this point. You got a big win in the ARCA series here.
I did. One of the biggest fields in the USORL as a league. And what I'm going to probably safely say for now, my final NR 2003 race.
Wow. Why is that, Davey?
Onto greener pastures. I've had my time with this game. You know, I've done my thing. Not to make it like a little broadcaster interview or anything. That's not what I'm trying to do. But I've had my time. I'm here to call some races now. At least the USORL races. I know you usually got someone booked up, but I know this field pretty well. I'm happy to come here and help. But yeah, just moving on. A good way to send it off too in that win. Joe, what did you? I know you wanted to ask me. But you ran second in that race. I want to ask you what you learned in that race, because it's the same racetrack, same kind of package. I want to ask what you learned.
Honestly, the biggest thing I was learning and trying to learn in that race was just how everyone races each other. You know, Daytona's Daytona, honestly, at this point, right? There's only so many ways you can skin a cat.
Yeah.
I was more so kind of trying to get a good gauge on how these guys, right? I've been watching for years now at this point. You both have been racing out here. So you guys already had the good feel of how everyone drives, but trying to get a good feel for driving styles, especially when, you know, I'm a big believer of when you're in a different group of drivers, everyone races different. Yeah, there's a lot of guys here that I've raced with before, but it's noticeable that they drive a little different here than they do at other places. I think one that we'll might be talking about tonight is Weaver's picking Mikey in that number 8 car. So it's a lot of that. It was more so learning about the people behind the wheel. I learned that the 77 likes to push people and continue to push and push again. I like to give Jack crap for that, so I'll do it here. But yeah, it was more about that. Honestly, you know, the car's going to push up off the corner a little bit as the run goes on. It's fixed setup, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it is. It is.
So
indeed.
Car's going to probably push up on corner exit, and
you're
you can generate runs.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot of dominance from the middle lane for a lot of this race. The bottom's going to probably have the momentum, and it's going to be the shorter way around the racetrack, and it probably will be the better line. But that middle lane, if the lines can form, if they can get organized, that is the strongest lane, both here and at Talladega. Despite the fact that we run different packages, the middle lane really gets moving, especially when it comes to Daytona and, you know, the way the tires do somewhat fall off. It does get harder to hold the bottom. These are all things that the drivers are going to have to come to terms with and figure out over the course of these runs, if we do happen to get green flag runs.
We're hoping we get green flag runs.
We would like to get some green flag runs, that's right.
I think we'll see a few tonight.
We will. I believe we will. This is a talented group of guys. These guys have all raced together for the most part, minus one or two names that are a little newer to the scene. I really do think we're going to have a great race in store tonight. Tell you what, it's weird seeing the 75 out there and it not being a replay of me in it.
I'm gonna say Davey Hazard a couple times tonight, Davey. So just be prepared.
That's fine. I'll be like, wow, I'm doing great. That's what I'll say.
Car's getting graded up on the back straightaway. We're moments away from the command here from Daytona to get engines fired for the Fanta Firecracker 250. We're not moments away. Maybe you are. Are we moments? I don't know. Something's happening.
Something is indeed happening.
Getting there. They're working on it. They're getting
You know how these officials are. They always want to drag out these drivers' meetings. They just want to make sure everyone knows everything. No one needs to know all that. Let's just get racing.
That's what I say.
They got to make their job worth something.
Waiting the command.
Drivers, start your engines!
And mercifully, there is the command. Jeff Dixon going to be rolling off with the pole here tonight in that 21 Chevrolet on the inside. Zach Webster, Talladega winner from a few weeks ago, to his outside in the 95, your first of your noble competitors. Steven Merzlak and Noah Joyce roll off on row number 2. Row 3 is going to be the 92 of Ricky Collette and the 12 of Cam Barnes. Row 4, you're going to see the Dadmobile of Chris Pickett and the 07 of Jamie Zalecki. Rounding out your top 10 tonight, going to be the 11 of Darren Ingram and the 9 of Jesse Dalton. Field makes their way off of turn number 4 behind our Dodge Challenger pace car here tonight. Jeff Dixon will have control as the fans are on their feet. We get ready to enter the Miteco restart zone, and away we go. Green flag, we're underway here from Daytona.
bottom line. Getting a good push early. Steven Merzlak in second, clear of the top line.
Mm-hmm. And that's how it's going to be on all these restarts where we're double file. That bottom lane is going to be the place to be. There's really no getting around it. You really have to be organized and get organized fast if you want to make the outside work early on.
Merzlak pulling out a line down into turn 3. That allows Ricky Collette to move up into the second position as the 1 fades back to the 95. Field's still nice and orderly, though, here off of turn number 4.
And Weaver, that's something I want to talk about, too, especially with these early in the race, the first 5-10 laps after you get the green flag. What is your strategy? What are you looking to do here?
I'm really just getting the vibe of the field here, Davey. I'm trying to see how everybody's trying to race. Looks like everybody's still pretty content running 2x2 here. I'd kind of maybe play it safe depending on where I qualify. I usually like staying at the back a little bit early, though.
100% agree. Right now, this is about the time where I would kind of be letting the race happen to me. And basically that just, you are letting the race occur. You're basically a bystander. You take the gaps you can take and make what you can of it. If you got to fall back, you got to fall back. That's fine. But let the race happen. Let the race become the race it's going to be before you start asserting yourself.
Saw Jeff Dixon drop to the back there after qualifying on pole, trying to get out of the storm. Although I don't know if I agree with dropping back there. Do you? I mean, if you're free and clear with the lead, do you really want to drop back?
Yeah, some people really swear by the dropping back thing. I've never been a fan of it. If you can get yourself ahead of the drama, you'll be better off than if you're in the back.
Oh, speaking of drama,
we have trouble. The 29 car gets turned around. Multiple cars.
are direct down the back straightaway here at Daytona. Going to bring out our first caution of the night here, working lap number 3.
I'll tell you what, that 31 No Joyce got some heavy damage on the front end of that
Huge
car.
damage.
The replay here. All that 31 car heading towards that inside barrier and made contact.
Hard hit for the 31. Wow.
Not what you're looking for on lap 3 of this race. Looks like that outside line just to check up that the communication couldn't get back quick enough. 12 Cam Barnes getting into the back of the 31 Noah Joyce, and that sends him down into the 29 of Chris Pickett. And it all goes south from there.
On board with the 31. This is a big hit, folks.
Oh man, yeah. That car is probably going to be retired at the end of this visit to the pits here. And that's one of those things, you know, like this is sim racing. It's one of those things that comes with running on a controller. You're probably going to be running some assists when you run with a controller. I'm not sure exactly what Noah's doing, but if you have anti-lock brakes on, if you're on the brakes in that situation spinning towards the inside, I mean, you're just going to slam into the inside wall. You know, if you have pedals or if you're not running those assists, you can kind of lock it down. He kind of got really unfortunate there, the way he got turned off to the inside.
Talk about close call of the race. I had to go on board with the 62 of Sean English there. Took it about halfway to that inside wall to avoid the 31 there. Made it through clean.
He
Now
put
lean
some
on
English
board.
on it.
See the contact up ahead between the 12 and the 31 in English. Fantastic job. Uses all that pavement when any contact there.
Great heads-up driving. And it really looks like maybe the only other guy who got a ton of damage in that's Chris Pickett with his hit into the outside wall on the backstretch. Everyone else was mostly just some bumping around and turned around and might need to just get a good new set of Mr. Feelgoods on there.
Leaders, everyone going to take an opportunity, I feel, to come down pit lane here. Let's see. Never mind. All but 3 going to take this opportunity.
I'm surprised by that. You need to come down here and top off. You never know what's going to happen in this next green flag run. You know, these guys are going to leave that pack of 3 in the dust if we do go green.
Another car catching up. The 46 already out. I believe DJ missed his stall.
But the one car took fuel only. A lot of these guys probably taking...
No, the 12
one
Cam
car sideways.
Sideways in the stall. Chris Pickett stopped on pit road.
Well, he was sideways in Chris Pickett's stall.
Yeah. Cambar's trying to come in. Jamie's Lucky trying to come out. Unfortunate. You see that on Sundays all the time, Joe.
You do indeed, Davey. I can't believe you just did him dirty like that. We got one heading towards the inside wall. Oh, it's Jeff. He's taking the road course. It's also on brand for him to be 4 car lengths wide. And not because he's blocking. Not because he's blocking. Ain't his fault. Benjamin Snyder saying hello. Welcome in, Ben. James Sykes, Nick Earl, Nivik as well. Saying that this is probably the most entertaining races we streamed. Thank you. Appreciate that. Hidden gem here at 11 o'clock on the East Coast on a Saturday night. Being of good races, got more great racing action coming up here on JTN this next week, kicking off Maverick Night in America from the Auto Club Speedway on Tuesday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Then it's the Bomb Squad Racing Cup Series from the Richmond Raceway Thursday at 9:05. And the TMP Supercars Series has their season finale next Monday night from the Charlotte Motor Speedway, 8:55 p.m. Eastern Time. Those are upcoming races on JTN, presented by our friends at SchemeHaven.com. Make sure, folks, you click that bell icon so you're notified anytime we go live. Nivik also saying, Davey, he's going to purchase your poster. How does that make you feel? That was a... What? You're hearing things? Yeah, y'all were doing the Sebring 12-hour. Started at 8 a.m. Yeah? Got other stuff going on? Well, you're going to sleep really well when we're done with this one, but not before we're done. Zach Webster going to lead us back to green. Ricky Collette to the outside. Darren Ingram, Mikey Murata, and Jamie Zalecki into the Mike Co restart zone. And back away we go. And Webster with the wheel spin. We're back underway inside line checking up. Ricky Collette is free and clear in the 92 with help from teammate Mikey in the 8.
On the restarts, the top two run away with it there.
As soon as they got clear, quick to jump down to that low line. I think that's the right move. Definitely a lot of more momentum down low right now.
Mm-hmm. There's a big gap there. I mean, this is kind of similar to what we saw in the Daytona 500. You don't want to, like, that gap there just kills you. It'll kill your run. So you need to keep the spaces tight. Keep the momentum with you.
Update on the 12, the 29, and 31. Looks like they're falling out of this pack, so definitely some major damage on those cars. Nothing we didn't suspect after that big wreck early.
Looks like that outside's pretty well packed together up top. A lot of momentum, a lot of energy built up in that pack. About 5 cars nose to tail.
Inside line struggling to get their cars grouped up together.
And that'll happen sometimes. I wish I could explain why that happens, but there is just a point in time when the outside does kind of get their line together. It does start. It's almost like a side draft effect. There's no side draft in this game, but it is like a side draft effect where a few cars on the bottom will kind of start to lose the pole that they would normally have tucked up under another car in normal draft situations. It's very interesting.
I think a lot of it comes from what we're seeing towards the back of this pack. If you're back there single file, I find it, even myself sometimes, wanting to kind of run up top. It feels a little safer, a little easier to drive up there, so it kind of gives them a little bit of a number advantage.
John English also not part of this lead pack. The first through 16th all on your screens right now. Ricky Collette still leading the way. Darren Ingram starting to make some headway on the outside in the number 11.
Got a good pusher there in the 95.
It's like Mikey's
Zach
tapping
Webster.
out in the 8.
I was just about to say, expect maybe Mikey and Darren to try and pull something together there. Mikey wanting no part of what's happening up there.
Definitely more in the MO for Mikey to wait this out to last about 20, 30 laps right around back.
Yeah, I am getting some radio transmissions. Mikey doesn't like the bottom lane either. It sounds like he wants to get up in the top. If he wants to make some runs at it, he wants to run the top. He doesn't like the bottom lane. No.
And some radio transmissions.
Yeah, I have my ways.
Fancy.
From Mikey?
Oh yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
He comes in
Hey.
here, Joe, and he starts showing us up with
He's
his
trying to
fancy
take our
With my
jobs.
gadgets, with my gadgets.
and his doohickeys, thingamabobs.
He's literally
That's right.
he's doing it. Him and Bristol, they're just going to take over for us.
I don't know about all that. I still need the brains, and I don't got the brains. You know who does got the brains is Joe Towinski and Joey Stefanu moving around trying to get the side draft we talked about not existing, almost causing a wreck there.
I'll tell you
Joey.
what got brains, them ants in his pants. He is antsy out there in that high line. He's
He
all
is.
over the place.
I figured you two would be picking on somebody. I just didn't have it as Joey tonight, if I'm being honest with you. But...
I'm not picking on
Nah,
the boy.
nah.
As we say that, we're looking at a 3-wide situation. I don't know if it's going to pay off. Joey doesn't seem to want to bite. Jack wants to bite. Not the best move. It's pretty early on. Jack's going to be able to fall back in line. Tommy's moving up there. So Jack, I see it. Tommy moving up to the third line, I don't see. I don't think.
Are we
he's
sure
actually gonna
Tommy's
make that
behind the
move.
wheel to 57?
I'm a little confused there, but
Yeah.
all that move did there was kill the momentum of that high side. Now top two on the bottom line, clear of the top.
Mm-hmm.
Or Doe dropping to the bottom in the 57.
Tell you
St.
who we haven't
Patty's Day was just a couple days ago, about a week ago, but Darren Ingram's still bringing the pinch on that top line, trying to get that good middle line grip.
Ooh, big ball from Zach Webster there. He's going to hold on to it. That's going to stall the top even more. Tell you who we're not talking about enough, and I know he was your pick to win, but he's been just silently leading this race. Ricky Collette, running the lines. Got down there early with Mikey and just has been running it.
I'm telling
It's been
you,
his race.
he was strong at Talladega. He's only been out there on these super speedways. Watches a lot of sim racing, so eventually that's got to translate to something, right?
It's got him.
And tuning in, cheering on Mr. Tommy Bordeaux. Fortunate that that 26 Baskin Robbins team wasn't here tonight.
Another dark horse there on the bottom I want to point out. Austin Spencer always finds his way to the front of these races at one point or another, but he is prone to some accidents. He does get himself into he gets himself into trouble.
Prone.
He gets himself into trouble. He really does. He's
Hey.
fast. He's fast as hell, but he does get himself into trouble. And that's just something to look out for. If he doesn't get himself into trouble, he usually has a really strong finish at the plate races. Almost every time.
Krastowski finishing up an unscheduled pit stop there with the number 4. You saw him on the apron.
I'll tell you what's helping Ricky Collette a lot right now. That's car behind him, 07 Jamie Zalecki. Real good pusher on these super speedways. Always finds himself towards the front.
Starting to see some Zach Webster making the move to the bottom. I wonder if we're going to start to see single file here, if we're going to see someone up front maybe try and control this race.
Well, remember the 92, the 11, and the 95 didn't pit there under our first caution, so they should be approaching when they're going to have to make a trip down the pit lane in 4 or so laps.
Looks like Joey's going to try and let Darren Ingram down here. He will. Slides right in behind Zach Webster. Jack tried to get in there in front of Joey. Is not going to clear him. Joey said, no thanks, just the one. We're going to move on. Yep, everyone's starting to migrate down there now. It's the select few on the outside who are just unlucky enough to be shuffled to the back now.
This is we know we have to pit in 5 laps.
Yep. Them hands gonna start waving out the window here soon, Joe.
Now, what was it? What were you guys talking about, Weaver, with the 75? And when he waves his hand out to come down pit lane, what do you want to do?
You just gotta take a look, be clear of that front bumper, because it's a dart without a feathers when he's coming down pit road here. You're gonna want to bring it down to the wall, keep it up on the track as much as you can, and hope and pray.
Anthony and Chad already starting fights. Thanks, Anthony, for tuning in.
That's Anthony. Anthony's good people. We were talking on stream earlier today.
If I were, we're about to start fights in the booth. Everybody gonna finish this race. They're gonna come up here and give us a piece of their mind.
Mm-hmm.
31 Noah Joyce going a lap down here.
Now, I think it is worth it to note that it's only the guys who stayed out who are... Whew. All right, we made it. We just about made it. It's only the guys who stayed out who are probably a little bit close on fuel. A lot of these guys who did pit, I think they have around 15 laps of fuel still to this point.
Is it 1X or 2X?
That's a technical question. I'm not prepared to answer.
Usually it's 2X, so that's about you can get about 20 laps. Those guys that didn't pit, they're gonna have to come down here in the next 4 laps, let's say. And the guys that did pit, 5 laps, 6 laps. Davey, we're already a quarter of the way into this thing.
I know.
Isn't it crazy how fast they go by up here?
Again, I was just using some radio communication from the 11 car audio. Radio audio.
Here it goes.
Maybe I know nothing. I could know. It could be 1X. I could know nothing.
Could be.
I think Davey's just flexing on us a little bit, Joe.
Oh, I am. Absolutely.
I wish he would have said that was information he got from the 11 radio instead of saying, well, I think, you know.
Well, I gotta add some intrigue.
Let's not underqualify our statements, Davey.
Okay, I'll do better next time.
I think you need to go to the Jesse Punch pit reporter school.
Ooh.
Starting to get some too wide racing in the back. I wonder if that's just kind of like guys trying to keep it nice and calm up on the outside. Actually, no, we have too wide up front. Jack and Steven, Jesse, bunch of takers to the outside all of a sudden.
They moving and they have a bunch of Fords up there on the outside. The 77, the 1, the 9, the 57.
I'll tell y'all what. I was watching that inside line when they were single file. There's a lot of stack ups, a lot of cars bobbing in and out. They just couldn't hold it too well, single file. I think they're just going out there getting a little safer condition.
Getting all scatterbrained at the back of the pack right now. See the 95 Zach Webster pulling out of line. Now, F. Dixon able to sucker that 95 out there. Drops back below. Bordeaux going to get behind the 95 now. 95 going to try to get in line on the... Oh, there's a lot going on up here in this pack right now at the back.
Little by little, like, just the players keep swapping in and out on the top lane. Meanwhile, at the front, the top, 5 cars from the bottom lane originally, still holding steady, unchanged up in the lead here.
If you're those top 5 out front, you're fine with what they're doing back there, right? I mean,
that's right. Less you got to worry about, and that is 100% Super Freeway Racing is just managing risk first of all, and then managing your worry. You know, you don't want to be stressed. You don't want to. If you're going to make a decision under pressure, you want it to be actual pressure. If you're riding around, it's lap 22. You don't need to feel stressed. You want to be the 18. You want to be the 13. You want to be the 07. You want to just be running your race, focusing on the bumper ahead of you, keeping it on the L line. You don't want anything else to go awry here. And the top line, all they want to do is disrupt that. And that's exactly what they should do.
11 folks watching at home, can't thank you enough for tuning in to JTN tonight. Make sure if you haven't already, drop the like on the video. Again, it's so appreciated when you do. Clicking that like button helps this live stream get out there into the YouTube algorithm, especially late at night for folks that are out there watching. So again, if you could, please, oh please, click that like button and give us a little bit of a little help here on JTN. Aaron Ingram, big move to the outside in the 11, gets in front of the 95 of Zach Webster.
Outside line starting to build some real momentum here. Got a few takers up top. Looks like a no-bull party line up there.
Big moment there for the 77 off of turn 4 in front of the 1.
Ooh, the 92 of Ricky Collette moved down to the apron there, probably off of a bump, maybe. That'll always jumble up the line a little bit. It's making hay right now. The 11 car, no, again, it's always the same guys. The 11 and the 95, they hook up so often. I mean, they're aggressive super speedway drivers. It's no mistake. It's not an accident that they do this, and they're going to make their way up to the front. Here. Oh, a lot of movement.
That was, I don't know if that was a bump from the 77 to the 57, but the chaos point there was the 95 and the 57 Bordeaux to the back of the 95.
Actually, it was a super similar situation to what we saw earlier that caused that accident. Just different players.
Why are we getting antsy now knowing we're coming up on pit stops?
So, a little bit of impatience, maybe? The race car drivers, Joe.
A little bit. 77 took a look there for 3 wide, but Tommy Widow ducks down low. Gonna break apart that outside line, hurt the momentum they had going.
Top 5 still single file, battle on for 6th. Bordeaux, big cut to the outside, gets to that right rear quarter of the 16 of Garrett Sidner.
That leaves a big gap to the 75 behind the 16. that could pay dividends for them. Although the 75 is starting to make up a lot of momentum now. Still weird to say that number.
I think we're seeing it now. These tires of these drivers on the inside might be going a little bit. They're not getting that same handling that they were earlier. It seemed to be washing up a little bit, especially that 13 Austin Spencer. He's had some big moments where he's almost gone up into the second lane here.
Antonio asks in chat what version of Daytona. I believe it's Daytona SDT Night with some updates to it. Obviously, like league-specific MIP files and whatnot. I believe that's what it is, Antonio. And then probably some crazy edits to the lanes and stuff.
Yeah, it's got to be frustrating for that top line you saw on the backstretch there, or at least in turn 2, I think. The one car peeking outside of the 77, making it 3 wide. I mean, that's all that's going to do is hurt the top 2 lanes.
Dalton out there now in the 9, that silver Red Bull Ford towards the back.
Zach Webster dips on the outside line.
Is Bordeaux and Ingram out to dry.
77 also making a move down to the inside line now. We got 31 coming up here.
Going to be some movement.
Tight squeeze here coming off turn 2.
We're getting on by the 31 and Noah Joyce. And we talked about it.
A little bit of separation. It's probably not going to make a huge difference, but you never know. They could take that run, make something, get one more taker.
Sometimes all it takes is one, right?
That's right.
Right. I feel like if the 13 of Austin Spencer were to get out of line, that would be enough of momentum lost for the 2 leaders and enough gain for the outside line to maybe make this a race. But I don't see Austin being too aggressive here in that bright yellow number 13.
Yeah, that same top 5 that's been leading this race, that all kind of been running the bottom since just about the restart. I really don't see them moving out of line at this point in the race. Like I said, they're comfortable. This is what they want. They don't have to stress. They're not worried. They're just running the bottom without a care in the world. The closest that outside lane has gotten is up to the nose of the 16. I mean, they're not even cracking past him. So, like, why would they move? They don't have a reason to.
For fun.
Oh, but this is serious, Joe. This is serious business.
We still got pit stops to go. But I know you gotta get through those pit stops before you have your fun.
Someone's gonna have a lot of fun as that 75. I bet he'll have a lot of fun on these pit stops.
I think we need to
He's gonna hate us.
I think we need to write down every time we mention the pit stops and Joey Stefano.
We don't need to.
Remember, folks, you can get your Joey the Bull t-shirts. I believe they're still up on the JTN merch store with Joey's primary ride, the number 47 Home Depot Toyota.
Bull in a China stop. Never mind.
Bull in the China stop.
Oh,
we got the
46 with the big save.
Smoked the tires on that one.
That come about contact with the 21 Jeff Dixon going through the tri-oval. Ooh-wee.
Yeah, just one of the them checkups. I mean, we talk about it every time we come to the Super Speedways. Those checkups can be deadly. Just about held it together there. Great save. It sounds like we're going to have some takers here in the next 3 laps. Those guys who stayed out, they are running low.
Folks, you're tuned into the USORL Cup Series. Fanta Firecracker 250 here from Daytona. Second race here from the World Center of Racing this season. As Davey said, those guys that stayed out now coming down the pit lane. Ricky Collette from the lead. Zach Webster, Darren Ingram. All down on pit road here working lap 32.
A little surprised not to see anybody coming down with them. Might have expected them to pull at least a couple more just to be with those guys. 3 very strong cars, so could definitely see the appeal to get talked into pitting with them, but everybody else choosing to stay out and run their tank dry.
Yeah, and from what it sounds like, the 57 wanted to come but couldn't get to the bottom. And at this point, you can't pit by yourself anymore, right? Unless we get some more takers here.
These 3 all rolling around the apron in turns 1 and 2. Leaders fast approaching there to put them all a lap down. Darren Ingram able to cycle through with the lead of that group.
But I do think it's reasonable to expect the rest of the pack to come here within a few laps. Yep, we do have takers this time.
Jamie Zalecki, Austin Spencer, Tommy Bordeaux, Michael Murata.
A little bit of a lockup by some of those guys, but it looks like everybody made it in safe.
Hit a second pack of cars together. The 12, the 29, the 62, the 23. They all came down lap prior.
Oh, little confusion there between Michael Murata and Antonio Ruiz coming out of the pits there from that second group.
Ooh, that could cost.
That's going to be a bad stop for Mikey. He lost a lot of time there.
Ray Tustin now your leader in the Brestree Chevrolet.
And that is not the rest of them. Steven Merzlak going to stay out an extra lap all by himself, it looks like.
Garrett
Jared Sidner's going to miss
grass.
pit road. Makes a commitment cone, makes pit road, but he's probably going to get a speeding penalty for that one. Everyone's filing into pit road. Joey incident free on pit entry.
Proven us wrong. For now.
In that beautiful Celsius race car.
Shift our focus back to the number 11 of Darren Ingram, who's leading these cars that have already made their cycle of pit stops. They're hooked up. If they can make up the ground on the rest of the leaders. But
One car's gonna come around this time.
Bordeaux, Zalecki, and Spencer might be able to get back trained together.
I tell you what, those three
Here,
cars are
Sidner in the
going to do
grass. Sidner spins out, coming off a pit lane. Sorry to interrupt, Weaver, but that's gonna be a big time loser for the 16 team.
At big time, a bad pit stop turned worse for the 16 team, losing a ton of time. I was going to say that first group that pit there, those people that stayed out there in the yellows, kind of the saving grace there for the 8 of Michael Murata. He had that slow pit stop, but he was able to tag along with this group, and he's got some drafting partners.
As this kind of cycles out, it's going to be really important to pay attention to those intervals. I'll be keeping a close eye personally on what these groups are doing, who's catching who, because now it's just a game of chicken, right, between these two. Who's going to be able to stay lined up and be fast enough to, either keep the gap or, pull away.
My money's on that second group. They're gonna have a little more motivation to stay in line and work together.
Yeah, a lot of strong cars in that group too. Look at the top four; they're all who we would consider very fast drivers on the super speedways. A lot of those guys we've mentioned.
This first group still having troubles figuring it out here. Tommy Bordeaux going to the back. Austin Spencer out of line. Yeah, the second group's catching them with some pace here.
You wanna hear this fun stat from Anthony in chat?
Absolutely.
All right, so Anthony says, "Damn, that sucks for Garrett. You didn't spell Garrett right. But did you know in 1998 the Undertaker threw Mankind off Hell in a Cell, and he dropped 16 feet into announcer's table? I didn't know that. Did you guys know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I don't know. I say dummy. Yeah.
And congrats to Derek on the win over in ISRL.
There you go, getting big wins out there. That's what we do.
That's what we do. That's only way you're allowed in the JTN chat is if you click like on the video or if you go win a race.
Winners only.
I would say that's what this booth is, but I'm up here, so.
You've got
winner.
your wins, Joe.
Yeah. Jamie's lucky with the lead right now.
That was a quarter of a second they chopped off that second group on that first group. It's a matter of time until we get one big group again here.
Ingram's still about he's still about a second back of probably being able to get some draft.
Yeah, just about.
Yeah, I think within the next lap they'll get that draft and really start knocking off some laps here. This front line just doesn't have the numbers that second pack does, nor do they have the organization. They're only just now really getting it figured out here.
How much time do you guys lose, like, when you can't get things figured out and you can't get in line, you don't try to work together, and then you kind of got a couple guys that maybe they're thinking for themselves, maybe?
I mean, you're
first,
seeing it. It was... Go ahead.
I was going to say, first, the momentum thing, but then second, how frustrating is that?
It's hard to explain how frustrating it is without saying things I can't say on the broadcast, because all you want is for everyone to figure it out, because no one's helping anybody by being side by side. Nobody's helping anybody by trying to race while we have a second group that's breathing down your neck. I mean, you want to be able to, like, that is a dream. If you can get 4 or 5 cars alone up front, I mean, that is a dream at these plate races, because then it just comes down to you. It comes down to like, can we make this work? It's a lot more in your hands.
Super Speedway racing is an odds game, and the more players you can take out of that game, the better your odds become. tell you what, another good way I'd put that, if I see somebody not working with me in that situation, that's just another person I don't want to work with when it comes down to crunch time in this race. Another way they're just going to be hurting themselves in the long run.
And that is precisely it. It's a frustration builder.
As we say that, the 11 has caught him. He's going to look high here, maybe try and turn this second pack into a high line.
Big move.
'95 Zach Webster choosing to stay down low, as well as the 75 and the 1. 75 now moving up to help out that high side.
Again, a strong group on the outside. It'll be interesting to see what they can do now. I mean, they look pretty organized. They are bumper to bumper down the backstretch, just leaning on each other.
And it ain't stopping as we're going to the corner. That 11 of Darren Ingram staying glued to the bumper of Tommy Bordeaux, and you're seeing how it's paid off. They're side by side for second now.
Unbelievable run down the backstretch for those guys.
11 of Ingram all over the back bumper of the 57 of Tommy Bordeaux. Bordeaux going to be side by side with Jamie Zalecki for the lead here once we exit turn number 2. The momentum's going to carry that outside line here off the corner. You see a couple cars on the inside playing games with the apron a little bit through the center of the corner. It's a drag race now down the back straightaway for the lead as Bordeaux's on the outside and Zalecki on the inside in their Fords.
And we did cross over the halfway threshold, and that is, whether these drivers will admit it or not, whether they do it subconsciously or not, that's a little switch. It's not the big switch. Big switch probably 20 to go, 10 to go. But that is a switch. It's go time. I mean, you saw it. You saw them. You saw these guys line up together on the outside. They're even now, side by side in the 1 and 2. The momentum that they made. 13 of Austin Spencer just about put Mikey in the wall. what is that? Wow, that like killed the outside line.
Big bobble there for the 8 of Michael Murata after almost getting into some contact with a 13, and a lot of people bailed out that high side.
Looks like he's going to cut his losses, yeah.
DJ Harris jumping up to give them a little bit of help, but I don't think it's going to be enough to hold off this inside line now.
That's that fight or flight mechanism behind the wheel of number 8 there.
You talk about seeing that switch flip. Look no further than the 8 car. If he's up here running, dicing it up, then you know that switch has been flipped. He thinks it's time to go. Looks like it might have been flipped back to the off position here as he's running close to the apron.
Like you once again want no part of it.
Here you're really seeing the tale of 2 leaders for that outside line when the 11 was leading it, and you can still see him kind of wanting to do it, really holding it tight on that bottom line, getting as low as he can in the corners. Now Tommy Bordeaux leading, keeping it kind of on that hash mark up towards the top of the middle line, almost in a high line here, dragging that top around.
Stefano up the track a little bit on corner entry, still playing with the apron.
It's just indicative of how many different styles you can have, like the different styles of driver on these types of tracks. You have Mikey, who, I mean, just the best pacifist in super speedway racing, right? Like, just will find his way to the front, but right now does not see that it's worth it to fight for these positions. Tommy Bordeaux, respectful as ever, just trying to keep pounding. Darren Ingram, who, if he was up front, would pinch that bottom line. And they all work different ways, and they all interact in different ways. I love watching this kind of racing for that reason.
You try telling Darren that he's pinching.
I will, and I'll do it again. Hey, he can hear the I know he's listening to that broadcast right now too.
Darren, if you're listening, you're the closest thing we got to Joey Logano, buddy.
He's gonna love that.
I know
he's gonna love that.
I know. You can tell him that. I know you got that little 2-way radio.
Oh, it's not 2-way, it's 1-way. But he can hear you.
He says Darren blocks in everything. He blocks in Dirt 3. Darren's a natural leader. That's how we'll put it, right?
Yeah, natural leader Darren Ingram.
Tell you what, the best way to personify that was in our 24. He did a good job blocking the leaders. We were a good 20 or so laps down.
Oh, let's not bring that one back up.
We're gonna
Yeah, I mean, it was a good time. That was a fun time.
We're lap 49 of 80 here from the Daytona International Speedway USORL Cup Series. Folks, if you like what you're seeing here tonight, you're going to like more of what we got coming up here later on this week on JTN. Tuesday nights, the Maverick Cup Series, Maverick Night in America out in California, Fontana Auto Club Speedway. 8:30, we'll kick off our coverage there. Then it's the Bomb Squad Racing Cup Series from the Richmond International Raceway. Coverage kicking off at 9:05 p.m. Eastern Time. And then about a week and 2 days from tonight, the TMP Supercar Series has their season finale from the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Coverage kicking off 8:55 p.m. Eastern Time. Those races and much, much more, of course, live right here only on JTN.
Are we looking at the arrival of Joey Stefanu? Looks like they're going to drop back down to the bottom. It looked like he was moving up to the top to make some moves. They are back up at the top on the back straightaway. Not a lot of help.
A good push from that 11, not much behind him. Now the 92 ducking outside, going to give them a little help.
Remember the 11, 92, and 95. They're linked on strategy here, so see how they race around each other. Zach Rostowski going another lap down. Has been fighting some steering box issues with that Ford Lucas Oil Chevrolet.
Maybe it's something to do with the car, Davey.
It might be.
I was going to say, last time that 75 Celsius Toyota was here at Daytona, it won.
I drove the 74 of that race, Joe.
74 Celsius PTR car, it won. The Celsius PTR car.
The Celsius
Davey,
car with a 7 at the front of it.
Davey, I was just pushing it. I don't care what number it was.
I didn't either, Joe.
I was just getting yelled at to push.
Oh, man. Hey, look at him, though, running top 5. Some of the by the way, if you want to hear some of the side stakes, this is a little loosely related. I told Joey I'd buy him a JTN Davey Hazard shirt if he wins in the 75 car. I'm holding to it. I'll buy him a shirt if he can knock down a W here today.
Extra motivation for driver 75.
That's right. Free shirt.
Talked about all those noble drivers. Right now, Darren Ingram leading the way back there in 6th. So apparently a shirt more valuable than cash money.
That's right.
Well, you can wear a shirt. I challenge you to wear some money.
Yeah, that ride was put together very last minute. You know, we had the car ready for Daytona. It's the home track for me. So we knew we needed to get someone in it. Joey happened to be available. We stuck him in the car. You know, got it there. He's doing a great job right now. He's coming into his own. Really looking more and more comfortable as the last clip away. Looks like Zach Rostowski got those issues figured out. He's tacked on the back of this pack here. A couple laps down, but a couple yellows come into play. He could be back in the race.
Got a couple cars towards the back trying out that high line, but for the most part, everybody logging some laps down here on the low side.
Yeah, I think those guys are just running the top. They can, you know, they're just running back there.
Maybe I know you're an integral part of the PTR shop. What was it like having a substitute driver in that 75 this week? What were the team meetings like?
Integral part is an interesting way to say owner, but I'll allow it.
All right.
Oh, you know I'm playing with you, Joe. What's it like to have a substitute driver? I've never actually had anyone sub for me in the 75 car. So it is different. It is a little new. It makes me proud watching Joey wheel this thing. It's the same with what I said earlier. It's fun watching him wheel it. He's, like I said, he's getting more and more comfortable with these last kickoff. He's sitting top 5 right now.
Yeah, I think we can really see a difference from just the first, say, 20 or so laps of this race, watching that 75 to now. He's really doing a lot better job holding a line. Still a little bobbly, but he hasn't raced in a while. Doesn't have a lot of experience with a wheel in an R, so definitely doing a good job learning on the fly.
Yes, sir. Now I did also get word there are some plans. Lap 66 apparently is when some drivers are going to come down pit road.
Lap 66.
Mm-hmm. Some people it's going to be a game of fuel here, it looks like, because you aren't going to have to get 2 full cans. You're going to be able to kind of play with that a little bit. I wonder if we're going to get some fuel strategy.
A little bit of fuel strategy, a little bit of tire strategy if you're not taking a full tank. A lot of drivers there taking 2 tires on those green flag pit stops, some taking none. Should be interesting to see what happens in this last pit stop.
Yeah, I think on the last one, you got to take enough fuel to get right sides. You got to have at least a little bit of handle on the car. If you got to go to the bottom, you want to be able to hold it and not scrub off any speed. You want to be able to keep that thing absolutely rolling through the center of the corner here.
Yeah, I'd have to agree, especially if you're one of those drivers that took none on that last pit stop.
Correct. And honestly, when it comes to any other track, I get it. But when it comes to the super speedways, it's Joey Stefano looking brave. He's gonna step back in line, I think. Yeah, he will. Personally, I don't like dealing with fuel on the super speedways. It's really hard to save. Some guys can do it. I know some guys will try to do it. They're braver than me. I personally cannot stand saving fuel on the super speedways. I'd rather just race you for it. You know what I mean?
I don't like saving fuel anywhere, but especially super speedway. Man, I'm here to race. I'm going full throttle. If I got to make an extra pit stop on you, maybe I'll catch you. If I don't, so be it.
Mm-hmm. That's what racing is. Mm-hmm.
John in chat, welcome in, John. I don't think. Oh, John, I was about to talk about your comment, but you know what? Never mind. Not going to do it because we almost got it there. He wanted a funny, guys. He wanted a funny.
Yeah, no caution. We are still green here at Daytona.
Approaching those final pit stops.
Yep, we're staring the final bit of this race dead in the face. This is where it's going to start to ramp up. After this set of pit stops here, you're going to see the level of aggression start to skyrocket.
See our leaders going around that 31 node. Joyce again doing a good job getting that car some airtime tonight.
Longtime PTR sponsor Martini on the hood.
Of course.
Naturally, right?
I'm getting some more radio chatter here. It's officially been called Tough Customer of the Race award goes to Noah Joyce in that 31 car for toughing it out in that slow car. That's courtesy of the 57 radio communications.
Really, 5 laps down now?
Too many laps. Yeah, 5 laps down now.
That time around 5 laps. 46 DJ Harris has went a lap down. He'd be the lucky dog if we do end up having a caution.
Not looking good for Zach Krastowski at that point.
Our top 12 in this pack here. Then you have another pack of 6. Almost 3/4 of a lap behind. The 21 having some blinked out there for a second. Starting to wiggle wobble back and forth.
Now, a lot of these guys in this final pack, do they all have damage, or is it just it's a select few of them have damage, right?
Yeah, I think only a few do. I know. Believe Sean English in that pack does not.
The 16 does not. He just had issues on pit lane, but the 12 was
Correct.
involved in that wreck. The 29 had the big hit to the outside.
Yep.
Don't.
I think
20
Antonio had the
23
problem on
and
pit
9.
road.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think they should
9
be.
something similar.
So that
Should be good damage-wise.
If we do happen to get, what this league would call a funny, I mean, we do
stops.
have more cars to add to the equation.
57, 11, 95, 8, 92 down pit lane here with 19 to go.
I'm sorry, Joe. I didn't mean to talk over pit stops. They called their pit stops a lap earlier than they planned to, actually.
Well, I talked over you.
Nah, it's okay. That's important.
Well, of course it's okay. It's my booth.
Looks like gas only for the 857 95. Ricky Collette in the 92 taking lefts. Darren Ingram taking rights.
That final pack just came down pit road as well. That's all those cars.
Amy's
Well, they
lucky
all
going to
the same
be
strategy.
lonely on pit lane here. Jack Healy now leads.
The pack is going to start working on these guys who are coming off pit road. Oh, a little bit of contact.
They
The
almost did.
892 almost had a moment.
That's
They
a
need to get it figured
teammate.
out. They need to get it figured out here, get bumper to bumper before they start to lose any more time. And they do.
Weaver, those were our picks.
So get it figured out, Joe. Here comes that last group coming down pit road.
Oh, big lock up Jeff Dixon. He's going to get it woed up.
Joey Stefano makes it down clean. He's proving us wrong tonight, Davey.
I tell you what, I'm going to knock on wood here in this booth, but I'm liking my pick of Joey Stefano. He's been fast all night. He's been consistent. This is the money stop.
Fuel only for all these guys. Back up to what is the lead pack. Got 3 of your noble competitors, the 11, the 95, and 57, trying to get in line. 4, the 8, and the 92 are all together as well. I think this might... that contact coming off pit lane is probably going to spell disaster for the 8 and 92. They've lost these other 3 that they came down pit lane with.
Ooh, a couple stragglers on that last set of pit stops for that lead pack. The 18, a little bit behind. 1375, they're all just a little bit behind. Big moment, Austin Spencer. Gets it
Joey
gathered up.
Stefano.
They're bumper to bumper.
Joey Stefano is taking it real easy. They're getting off pit road on that apron.
Ray Tussin also had a moment. He's coming. Yeah, he comes back up on the track. He's gonna just maybe about tack onto the draft here. A lot of jumbling up right now.
The field has been jumbled. It's been mixed. It's been
A lot of separate packs here. Almost
Yeah.
got a tandem vibe to it.
a tandem vibe.
That's my favorite Celsius flavor.
Where'd the 21? So Jeff Dixon right now.
Jeff Dixon is making a power play here. He's tagged on to this pack that was about to go a lap down, and they got a real big lead on the rest of our lead lap cars.
Wow.
Have these guys come down pit lane yet?
They have.
They
They
did.
have come down.
Oh wow. Oh.
Might have been a stroke of genius. I know he had to have taken much less fuel than these guys to get tacked onto this. I mean, the next guys behind Jeff are seconds behind.
This is yeah, they're almost 4 back.
That's just a pack of 2. That's Steven Merzak, Jack Healy.
They're tandem together.
Almost
I
half
don't know
a
what
straightaway
Jeff's doing.
ahead.
He's working on the outside of some of these guys with damage, it looks like.
Maybe trying to get up there to the back of the 16.
Some of the faster guys. Without the damage, I mean.
See, heavy right side damage on the number 9.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd be corralling all these guys, telling them to stay in line. I need your help. Time to make some friends in this line.
Now, you can't be telling him to stay in line and then trying to work around him either.
Mm-hmm. It must have been just to try and... He's doing it again down the back straightaway. He's going to fall back in this time, I think.
Back, the 11 still has not caught the back of the 77. I think once this group gets put together, they'll be able to make up time, guys, but...
Will they have
how long
enough
do you
time?
wait? Yeah, like how long do you
We're
wait
closing
to...
on 10 to go here. And they're gonna take them too wide. I don't know if I agree with that. It's Darren. I know Darren's
likes
gonna
to
do that,
lead.
but
Oh, Chris! I tell you what, Jeff
Big
Dixon
moment.
put almost a second on the one car that last lap. The gap is getting bigger and bigger for him.
Big moment for the 29, Chris Pickett here. Get a replay.
looks like Chris is gonna park it.
Got bumped by the 21.
Gap stayed the same that time from the 21 to the 11. Now this pack all nice and jumbled together. Got to catch that 21. They got 10 laps to do it.
Yeah, and these guys on the bottom got to be frustrated that we're still side by side at this point.
I tell you what, man, this is gonna be close.
Well, you can't be frustrated with something you did, right?
I'm saying some of them, Joe. Tell you what a stroke of genius by the 21 car. God, what a huge lead he's pulled.
Some anger from the 29 after parking it. We believe the 21's good on fuel, Allison. We believe. Don't... I would hope.
Yeah, I would have to assume there. Lead only... 11 only closing in by 0.2 that lap. It's not going to be enough to get it done.
Man. It might be a battle for second here, boys.
It's looking to shape up that way.
Oh,
Do have to ask that question, like Joe said, is the 21 going to be good on fuel?
23 in the wall. Looks like he is sliding to a halt. He's gonna
Something
park it, I
happened.
believe.
That takes
Something
you...
must have broke on that car.
Still stopped there in the grass.
Antonio was a lap down, but that'll probably completely take him out of the no bull running. Because there is money on the line for these guys. The 11, the 95, the 57. The one a little bit further back. Still running for that no bull prize. There's a little more incentive at play there for those guys to try to beat each other.
In only a 10th gain that lap by the 11. They're going to need a miracle if they want to battle for the win here.
I mean, again, it's just going to come down to the fuel. Does he have enough? I know that calculator on top of the 21 pit box was smoking before that last pit stop.
Tell you what else was smoking was his tires getting down to pit road. Did he just have that good of a delta lap coming in on pit road, getting that fuel and getting out, that he was just that much better than everybody else?
Well, and the other thing that might be lost in this, too, is the fact that he was able to get in with this group, right? We talked about the second pack that was formed up. And yeah, some of these guys have some damage, but they're still quick enough to where the group that has a lot more cars isn't able to catch this 21. And now they're getting racy back here.
And I went back and I watched his stop, and he was down. He was in his stall for a shorter amount of time than the rest of the group that he came in with. and he was able to, like we said before, he was able to tag on to this group. So, I mean, at this point, it's just a question of fuel. He's got it in the bag. They can't catch him.
No, definitely not going to be able to catch him. That's why you see they're starting to race here. It's going to be a battle for second in this second group if Jeff Dixon can hold on to it with the fuel.
Jeff Dixon is 6 seconds clear of what you see on your screens at home. The battle for the second position that Darren Ingram currently holds on to. Austin Spencer in the 13 out there gets a bump from the 1. Guys, I mean, we talked. This could be what that 21 doesn't want to see too. You never know what happens when these guys get racy.
Yeah, I mean, we get a yellow. The plan is ruined. He's probably gonna have to. He might even have to come down pit road if it's not overtime.
I tell you what, things would be flying if I was in his situation. Good on fuel, and we got a yellow right now.
What would you throw first?
My steering wheel out the window. It's going to be a yard sale. The mattress might be after that.
On the 1 or the 4 of Zach Krastowski, excuse me. Down by Zach. Zach still got speed in that car again, just steering issues there. Derailing his night. Antonio Irvin in chat saying he'd punch his monitor.
That's a reasonable reaction, in my opinion.
Yeah, you've done that before.
Have I?
I thought so.
No, I didn't punch. I punched many things, not my monitor.
Oh, have you thrown a headset?
Monitor's protected. That's a little too expensive.
Headset, I've dropped aggressively. Only thing I've ever thrown was a controller a couple times.
Okay. Couple
I'll tell
times.
I'll tell you what, my
Couple
go-to move was I'd take my mouse, grab it by the wire, and wing it around a little bit. Get a little helicopter mode going before it met the wall.
Update from the 23 graphics issues there. I hate polygons is the quote.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the old dragon attack.
Allison in chat saying she'd throw her monitor into the or her controller into the monitor.
Also reasonable. I've been keeping an eye on our leader, Joe. Don't you worry. I've been keeping an eye on the 21 car, and it is smooth sailing. Not a worry in the world.
I mean, even if he was short on fuel, he's in a good position here. Fourth car in line can really save some fuel here if he needs to. I'd imagine if he's short, it can't be more than just a couple laps when he came out. I believe he could definitely save that.
There's your update on the 21. We're going to go back. We're going to watch this pack because this is where all the racing is right now.
Jamie Zalecki leading that outside line, trying to make a charge. Darren Ingram leading the inside line. It's the battle for second as the outside rages.
Surprised Zach Webster didn't try to pull up in front of that outside line, see if Darren Ingram elects to do something similar.
Tell you what, they are making some hay on that outside, snaking its way through the tri-oval. I mean, it's only a matter of time before they're even. We're going to have a race on our hands, and that could...
Oh,
there's the trouble! Big crash! 13 into the wall, 1 around. That's going to be our yellow.
Folks, we're going to overtime.
Oh, no.
And that is the 21's race.
Oh, he still got a chance.
No, he's still the leader, but that was in the bag as in the bag can get for a race at Daytona. And, oh, man, you just hate to see that.
Bump from the back, from the 1 to the back of the 13. Davey, what'd you say in the open about Austin Spencer?
He's fast, and he'll be up front, and you see him right there, second on the outside. But just unfortunately, and he'll tell you himself, man, he gets himself into trouble sometimes. This one wasn't really even his fault. But tell you what, if there's someone who gets bad luck, and it ain't Mikey Murata, sometimes it can be Austin Spencer. That is just a bad bump, bad stack up, running up front. It's got to be some heartbreak there.
And bad luck, you see there what it was is he's trying to stay off the bumper, that 07 of Jamie Zalecki. He knew he wasn't square. If he hit him with that bump, he was going to spin the 07, so he's got to back off a little bit. Steven Merzak's getting a bump from behind the 77, and you can't stop that. And that starts the chain reaction.
get a visor cam with Joey Stefano here going into turn 1. Good look here. Joey does a great job getting through this incident. And going to be working overtime here.
Tell you who did a good job there is the 57 Tommy Bordeaux. Obviously, he's the car that Austin Spencer unfortunately bounced off of. This 57 car dead sideways down on the apron, gathered it up. Tell you what, that might be the save of the race.
On board with Tommy here up on top of the roof. All of a sudden, you're going to see a bright yellow car come into screen, and then bam! Great piece of driving there from Bordeaux. So I have a lot of maybe not, a couple of lap down cars towards the front coming down pit lane. As we'll be heading into overtime here from Daytona.
I'd have to imagine maybe that 21's clutching a little bit, but pretty confident they can make it to the end of the race here. And safe to say that if we had gone green, he'd have wrapped this race up.
DJ Harris going to get the lucky dog here in the 46. You saw him coming down pit lane, going to top off. Overtime here in the USORL, we have virtually unlimited attempts. Actually, probably about 15.
Tell you what, man, we love seeing the racing here, the tight racing here coming to the end for a super speedway, but it's hard not to feel bad for the driver of the 21 there, Jeff Dixon, with a great strategy call to have a race in the bag like that at a super speedway and have it the opportunity to win like that taken away. That's gotta hurt.
Now you gotta hope the car doesn't sputter on the restart, right, Davey?
Yep. But I mean, I tell you what, when it comes to the overtime restarts of super speedways, that is the last thing on your mind. I mean, this is when you have to push it all out. None of that matters. Fuel does not matter. Tires don't matter. Your friends don't matter. This is the time. This is where you got to buckle in. You have to really, really focus on where you want to be at the end of this race. Because, I mean, if you have any stressors, if you have anything that's going to take away your brain from trying to win this race, you won't win this race. Plain and simple. This is where the intensity gets ramped up. This is where we get to see what everyone's made of.
Interesting restart brewing here. A race win on the line from Daytona. No bull prizes on the line for those cars you see with the red roof numbers and red spoilers. Aaron Ingram on the outside in the 11, the first of those. Zach Webster behind him in row 2. Got Jamie Zalecki in the 07 to the inside of the 95. Tommy Bordeaux, Joey Stefano, Jack Healy, Ray Tustin, Michael Murata, and Ricky Collette, your top 10. And, oh yeah, Jeff Dixon, who had a win virtually snatched away from him there with that caution. He's going to line it up with on the point and with control here for the restart. So get ready to approach the Mikeco restart zone. Overtime is underway here from Daytona.
A little wiggle there on the start, but they're going to get it going just fine. But I want to make sure we take note of the two drivers on the outside. Jeff Dixon smartly is going to go up there and block the 11 and 95. Been working good together all night. Going to bring it back down. He's working the lines, Joe.
Got to work the lines late here at Daytona. Dixon stays on the bottom. Going to probably migrate to the outside here down the back straightaway. Although those cars on the outside, not as strong of a run as Zalecki looks to the inside. Not able to get there. They make contact.
Contact! Almost a bumper grab there. Just a barely in time block by the 21. Jamie Zalecki's got a decision to make now. Does he move to the top? Does he stick to the bottom?
I don't know. Right now, I think I'm sticking with that bottom. Look at the momentum down there. Look at the cars on the inside line.
White flag in the air. 1 lap to go from Daytona.
This is rolling on. 57's going to move up to the top here. Going to pin Jamie Zalecki down to the bottom. Jeff Dixon's going to have to cover both lines. Those 4 cars on the outside. All 5 of them strong.
A little bobble there from the 11. He got a bump from the 95. That's going to hurt the momentum as they go down the back straightaway.
The drag race down into turn number 3. Jeff Dixon out of line.
Zalecki looking low. 3 wide, split in the middle.
Bordeaux has help from Darren Ingram behind. Zalecki has help from Jack Healy. They're wrecking behind him.
Oh,
It's
around,
Stefano.
around, big wreck.
We're
still racing to the line.
Zalecki has control of this race coming off of turn 4. Bordeaux with momentum on the outside into the tri-oval. A dead heat to the line. Jamie Zalecki wins it here at Daytona.
What a finish.
What a finish and what a win for the driver, the number 07, Jamie Zalecki, getting it done on the inside line there.
A huge win for Jamie Zalecki.
Oh man, you got yourself a heap there, Davey.
Yeah, he rolled. He's got that 75 car rolled up and over. I haven't flipped that thing in a while. Just hope he's okay. No, he started driving it. He rolled it. He started driving it. He crossed the line. That's my boy.
Get a look at what happens here with Stefano. Up from the back of Cam, or from the front of Cam Barnes, rather, into the back, and then the 75 going to go tumbling down the banking. Joey, of course, has more wins than Tony Stewart on Daytona 500 Day. Hey, he'll probably tell you that himself.
4 100s, your margin of victory there over Tommy Bordeaux, coming home second. Jack Healy third. Darren Ingram fourth. And Michael Murata rounding out our top 5.
Jamie Zalecki brings it around. Burn it down here from Daytona.
Tell you what, going back to the move on the backstretch, what a heads-up bit of driving. Got the bump at just the right time from Jack Healy, excuse me. And, you know, just at the perfect time, Jeff was just starting to focus on that outside lane with Tommy Bordeaux and was just able to sneak under him.
Maybe a little too indecisive there from the 12 to go up to that outside line. No full commitment on the block. Ended up in the sucker hole. He brings it home 15th after that unfortunate caution.
A report from the 21 is they lost fuel. So they ran out of fuel. So.
Wow. What a twist.
Let's get one more look at that last lap and the move you're talking about there with the 07. Replay the last lap from high above. I see the 21's gonna still be going here, coming through turns 1 and 2. Bordeaux with a good push here from Darren Ingram down the back, through corners 1 and 2. 21's gonna cut out here right about now. Gonna run out of fuel. Zalecki jumps out of line, no help going to Jeff Dixon. It's a good shove from Jack Healy in the 77. Tommy Bordeaux trying to come down and side draft Healy. Second car in line there on the bottom. Then off of turn number 4. Outside 3 are hooked up together. Healy gives Zalecki the right push at the right time there, entering the tri-oval just enough to get that 07 across the line first. And Jamie Zalecki took home the victory here tonight. We'll move on to our post-race coverage, talk with our top 3 finishers, and get results for you folks at home here from Daytona. Before we do that, though, let's get a word from our friends at Auto Sim 2. Have you ever wanted to manage your own racing team? Or what if you could go back in time to see if a particular season could have finished differently? Well, folks, have no fear, because Auto Sim 2 is here. With fully customizable roster files, you can create your own world or try to recreate the past. Heck, you could even try to predict the future through AutoSim 2's Sim Mode. Don't like the passive approach? Well, then get more hands-on in Owner Mode, where you decide who drives your cars and what companies will sponsor them. Down on your luck? Well, then scout some new talent that will get you to the top. Already super successful? Try moving up the ladder or expanding to truly solidify your racing empire. However you want to play, AutoSim 2 has you covered and is now available for purchase through the Steam store for $9.99. Now go make your mark and build your legacy in AutoSim 2. And again, back here from Daytona, again, AutoSim 2 now available on the Steam store for $9.99. And AutoSim 2 now available on Steam for $9.99. Kicking off our interviews, of course, down in victory lane, driver of the number 07 Ford, your race winner here tonight in thrilling fashion, also led the most laps. Jamie Zalecki. Jamie, you got a copy.
Hey, Joe, I got you. What's up?
I just watched a pretty good race, and I saw a pretty cool cat win it. How's it feel to take home a victory here at Daytona? What could possibly be, and I'm pretty sure it is, the last USORL Cup Series race here at NR at the World Center of Racing?
Oh, Joe, it feels absolutely amazing. I only run part-time now, and I was thinking this, Michigan, and Talladega is going to be my last 3 starts. And to get a win here at Daytona, oh, man. I got to give a shout-out to Jack for that huge push down the backstretch. Without that, I think Tommy had me there.
Obviously, the caution breathes life into everyone there in that second pack. You ran great all night, but then how do you reset behind the wheel knowing that you have an overtime finish? We know how tight these are, how stressful they are behind the wheel here at Daytona. How were you able to flip that switch and get the win done here behind the wheel?
Well, I'm not going to lie, I was a little disappointed to be starting on the inside. I usually liked being on the outside, but with Jeff in front of me, I just knew he was going to start to try to Penske block it just to try to hold on there. And, I got that huge push from Jack, and Jeff just ended up in the sucker hole. So,
well, results on folks' screens at home. I know you already mentioned it. Final 3 starts here in the next month or so, or the next couple of months with the USORL Cup Series. To get that win, I know, it's usually a limited schedule for you in this 07 team, but anytime you're out there on track, you're competing for a victory. To get that win here, does that feel like a good, I don't want to say career ender, but does it feel like a good end to this time here of the USORL Cup Series?
yeah, absolutely. And it's funny you say that, Joe, because as soon as I crossed the finish line, and I thought, you know what? Do I just call it here and go out on top, or do I come back for the next 2? So I got some thinking to do, I guess.
Well, I think you should come back for the next 2, because what if you won all 3? I mean, that's just, it's gotta think that way, right?
It's possible, yeah.
And Jamie, I think you can get it done, especially knowing how well you run out there at the big 2 mile in Brooklyn, and then that monster down in Alabama. But again, congratulations on the win here tonight, Jamie. Before we let you go, want to give you the opportunity. Got a lot of great folks partnering with you in this 07 team. The floor is yours. You know what to do.
Yeah, thanks, Joe. I got to say hi to John at home. John's always in my corner. I got to say hi to Chris. Really, really sucks that tonight went so bad for Chris. Thanks to Ally, and of course, when it's wins, it works.
Jamie, again, congratulations on the win here tonight. Cannot thank you enough for your time after this one. And hey, go celebrate, buddy. You deserve it.
Oh, I will. Thanks, Joe. See you guys.
Jamie Zalecki, driver of the 07, your race winner here tonight from Daytona. Let's go ahead and next bring in the driver of the... I don't see him. Oh, someone already did my job for me. That's okay. Davey, I'm going to let you take this interview because I know you got a special connection with this driver. Driver the number 57, TWB Ford, your No Bull winner here tonight, Mr. Tommy Bordeaux.
Hey, Mr. Bordeaux. How you doing? How you feeling after that? Nice P2 finish.
Hey, thank you very much, Davey. Man, I'll tell you what, if you know anything about me, and super speedways, this is not a very common thing to happen. Very surprised at the finish tonight. Obviously, anytime I go here, it's always just, I don't know. It doesn't usually end up this well, and so I'm very happy that it did. When we went here in the beginning of the season, of course, I got launched 40 feet in the air, and it's good to at least finish with all four wheels on the ground and all engines firing on all cylinders or whatnot. It's good. It's a good feeling.
Yes, sir. So normally when you come through the super speedway races, I always kind of notice that you get it. You're one of the guys that gets it, but it just never works out for you. Did you do anything differently tonight?
Honestly, kind of. It's hard to say because for a bit I was kind of hanging in the back, and I was at times, I think, entering like pit cycles and things like that. But I think what really changed is I wasn't as afraid to like go up and make moves. Like, yes, I hung back a bit, but I mean, especially towards the end there, like I felt a lot more comfortable up at the front of the pack and things like that. I even you know had Darren push me to the lead a couple times, trying the outside sort of in the last third of the race or so. And I just a lot more comfort and kind of just taking a more relaxed approach, I think helped me a lot rather than just assuming there's going to be a wreck, just racing like there isn't going to be one and trying to get what I can while still keeping my head on my shoulders.
That's awesome, man. I kind of noticed that. I noticed you were being a little more adventurous than you normally are.
Yeah, not usually a thing I typically do, but I guess it worked out once at least.
It worked out, man. Hey, I'm proud of you. Joe, do you have any questions for Tommy before I send him to the shout out arena?
Tommy, what you gonna do with all that money you got in your pocket now?
Oh man, Joe, I can't believe it. I'll tell
that's
you what.
right.
I mean,
Money
talk about
bag.
this. I won the last No Bowl, and that was great. And I thought, well, this is fantastic. I mean, how am I going to spend all this money? Right? It's just too much.
Mm-hmm.
But then I come and win this one. It was even a bigger purse. Joe, I would imagine that I'm going to have 6 houses and a permanent residence in the Masoni room at the Biblos.
Tommy, it's always fun to have you up here in the booth. We hope you're up here for more announcing in the future. But again, congratulations on the second place run here tonight. Before we let you go, I want to give you the opportunity because you do it better than anyone else. You know what to do, buddy. The floor is yours.
Well, absolutely. Hey, first and foremost, big shout out to all the people at the USORL for taking part in the race tonight. We had a good field for it. Obviously, a huge thanks to you guys for putting on the show. I am so looking forward to watching this race broadcast back. I know it's going to be great with you three in the booth, and I look forward to seeing how you guys called the race. And of course, big shout out to TWB, everybody with the team, Tommy Bordeaux Racing. Huge shout out to Darren Ingram and Zach Webster. Those guys were working on the top at the end there. We had a plan. I was going to go up there if I could get by. And even if it didn't work out, I was just going to try it and see what happened. And well, we got pretty close to it. And hey, I can't be mad about that. So yeah, overall, great race. Really happy to the goal was to finish in the top 10 tonight, a second place. Yeah, I'm very happy.
Well, Tommy, again, congratulations on the second place run here tonight, the Noble win. And as always, cannot thank you enough for your time after this one.
Absolutely. Thank you all so much.
Tommy Bordeaux, driver the number 57, your second place finisher here tonight. Let's go ahead and finally bring in our third place finisher, the driver of the number 77, Jack Healy. Jack, you got a copy?
Hello?
Hello?
Hi. I didn't even know I was going to do an interview of these. I didn't even know where I finished.
We finished third.
I did?
Yeah, how's that feel?
Breaking news.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all right.
Just cool?
Yeah. I want to thank my mom and my dad, of course.
Of course.
They birthed me.
Right.
Yeah.
Weaver, what kind of questions you got for Jack?
Uh-huh.
Well, man, I just want to know what was going through your mind there that last run. The 21 had a big lead. The fuel might have been a little questionable for you guys there. So what were you thinking as y'all were racing but really didn't have a chance to win the race?
I was helping Steven get the no bull, and all my mind was push. So I pushed.
How do you push?
Push.
Right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I understand. No, this makes perfect sense to me. You guys aren't hearing what he's saying, I don't think.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, we're listening. We're not hearing.
Yeah.
You see, what you got to do is you don't have to think about anything. You just got to turn your brain off. And you see a bumper, you just jam that bumper into that bumper, and then push.
Right. So you went to the NASCAR Cup Series School of Super Speedway Racing.
Yes, I went into the 2019 plate package.
Just push.
Yep, just push.
Don't worry about the consequences.
Exactly. Yeah, push.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Yeah.
Speaking of just push, give the 07 of Zalecky a great push there. How, obviously, at that point, you're kind of boxed in. How much is it, how much do you trust that guy in front of you? Does it creep into your mind,
100%.
Bucket? Okay.
100%. It doesn't matter who's in front of me. If I push him, I trust him.
Okay. All right. Well, he is the best and scariest pusher in the business, folks. Jack, before we let you go, I know you already thanked your mom and dad. Anyone else you want to shout out or thank?
Clam chowder bowls. Clam chowder bowls are really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that on the menu tonight?
It was on the menu yesterday. It was really good. It was really good sourdough. Some potatoes, some clam. Yeah.
Clam chowder, huh? Sounds like someone from Boston would eat that, and I don't know if I agree with that with you.
That I'm kind of offended that you would think I'm from Boston. I'm a Bostonian.
No, I don't think you're a Bostonian. It's just Bostonian tendencies.
That's a Boston food.
I see you as above that.
It's a New England thing, Davey. It's a New England thing. It's not a Boston thing.
I still get him out of the booth.
Jack, again, congratulations on the podium finish tonight before Davey has a meltdown.
Yeah.
Can't thank you enough for joining us.
Holler. So you can have hot, passionate gay sex.
Okay.
All right. I think we need somebody to come in here and clean it up, Joe. If we could have just one quick word.
Let's get our points leader in here, Noah Joyce.
Yeah, had a tough race. He said he has some words that he would like to share.
He's our tough customer award.
Go ahead.
Noah Joyce, driver of the number 31 Martini. What car are you driving, Noah?
Toyota.
Had a rough race today, kind of over before it began. You came in the race as the points leader. What are your thoughts?
Oh, where to begin? One of those races where everybody in the league shows up. They're afraid to finish 7th or 8th in every other track, and they think they can win here, but they don't know how to race here. So, the whole field is like 30 cars deep, and just get fucked over by other people's mistakes. I guess that's just the nature of this race. But those things.
The Bristol College Fund's getting rich tonight with the swear jar, but you said it was a tough pill to swallow here tonight. What are your thoughts going forward in the season after a race like this?
I guess it's just a reminder. You gotta humble yourself every now and then. I'm pretty good at doing that on my own terms, though. But we'll just look forward to whatever the next race is. We'll have to reset. That's the only thing you can do.
Sounds good, man. Well, we wish you luck in your points battle for the rest of the season. Sorry tonight didn't go your way. If you want to give a quick shout out to anybody, go ahead.
Shout out to you guys. I haven't seen it yet, but I'll definitely go back and watch the replay of the race. I didn't get to see what happened in any of it, so I'll get to see what happened for the first time. So shout out to you guys. Thank you for putting on another fantastic broadcast, I'm sure. Shout out to Bristol, of course, man of the cameras. My PTR teammates, teammate, thank you, Davey. All the sponsors, yeah. That sounds about right.
All right, man. Well, thank you for taking a word with it. I know it was a tough one for you here tonight. We'll talk to you later there, Noah.
Hey,
all right,
that F word just got you a $10,000 bonus.
Is that true? All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's a whoopsie. You pay my FCC fine.
Noah Joyce, driver number 31 Martini Toyota for PTR. You guys want to bring anyone else into the booth to say something that they shouldn't on our broadcast?
I thought we were going to clean it up with that one, but
That one did not clean it up.
I wasn't expecting the scorched earth there. I think it's good we wrap this one up, Joe.
Hey, it's just like Super Speedway racing real life. Always some angry and tough customers after the race. Can't take that out of it, even with sim racing. Whew.
Folks, again, can't thank you enough for tuning into JTN tonight. Make sure if you haven't already, drop a like on the video and subscribe. Again, doing those things helps support us so much here on JTN. It really does. It helps us continue to build our fan base. When you're interacting with what we post, it goes into that little YouTube algorithm, and then it sends it out to more and more folks. That's the whole idea behind the shorts feed as well, so go check those out. You'll get your race highlights as we go throughout. And again, can't thank you enough for all that support. You can follow us on our social media at JoeTowNetwork, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. That's another great way to stay up to date with everything we have going on. If you have the extra money, you can always support us through the JTN merch store and get yourself some JTN merch. So, you can go check that out as well. Next time we're live with the USORL is going to be from the Talladega Super Speedway. I believe it's currently slated as our last USORL Cup Series broadcast in NR 2003. Or maybe ever. We'll wait and see on that. So make sure you tune into that one. Hopefully we'll have the time to get something special made up. It'll be Saturday, June 3rd. And of course, next time we're live is going to be with the Maverick Cup Series Tuesday night. You don't want to miss Maverick Night in America at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. With all of that being said tonight, folks, for all of us here at JTN, for Bristol, our producer, for Joseph Weaver, for our special guest, Davey Hazard, I've been Joe Twansky. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time live right here on JTN. So long for now, folks. Yeah, and they're going to be 3 wide coming to the checkered. Never mind, they're going to be... Oh!